Hello and welcome back once again to Movie Reviews. So I'm going to try and get this in before the battery dies. I think the cold weather has been zapping my batteries, so I charged them both up last night and I kept them in my pocket when I went in to see the movie. So rather than leaving them out here in the cold car. So hopefully they'll last a little bit longer. I also think having to have the light on is a little bit of an issue, so I'll get through what I can, and if the battery dies then I'll just wait and film tomorrow morning where I don't have to use the battery. So if you suddenly see a day-night change, that's why. Anyway, so today's movie, finally got around to seeing Big Hero 6. Yeah, I know it's been out for a while. Most of you have probably seen it. But like I said, I've had some financial issues for a while. Schedule at work changed a little bit. And I was sick for a while, so I didn't get to see any of the movies in November I was planning on seeing. So playing catch up now at the end of December of all things. So finally got around to Big Hero 6. So first of all, it started out with a short film called The Feast, which was about a little puppy. It was kind of a cute film. It kind of goes through different aspects of life through this puppy's perspective, and the puppy is just trying to get fed. But then, as things progress, he kind of takes more of an interest in other things other than being fed, but it all leads back to food, so that was kind of cute. So then we start out with Big Hero 6, which opens with bot fighting. Yeah, everyone loves bot fighting, right? Sorry, I gotta cover my hand. I'm freezing out here. Got my big wool coat with me today. So it starts out with bot fighting. The younger boy, Hero, is the one bot fighting because he's like this super genius. He graduated high school when he was 13. His brother's trying to motivate him to go to college, and he kind of has this issue with college being like for nerds or something. So his brother goes, okay, well, if I can't stop you from bot fighting, let me at least take you there so I can keep an eye on you. So they go, and they detour to the school, and Hero kind of takes an interest in the school and tries to apply for it. In order to apply for it, you have to go through this science fair thing and kind of show off an invention. And the best one, or actually probably more than the best one, anything that shows promise can get enrollment to the school. So he comes up with a thing, and they go to the science fair. And of course his is the big thing of the show. So you got this guy that offers to buy it from him, and it's kind of led up to that this guy's going to be the bad guy, even though I kind of called right from this point, just because they're making him look like the bad guy, he won't be, just because I kind of know how these movies flow. So they lead him up to be the bad guy because he takes shortcuts, cuts a lot of corners with safety and whatnot. So then Hero decides not to sell his invention to the guy. He's going to enroll in the school. Then his brother dies, which isn't a spoiler because they show that in the preview. So when his brother dies, he kind of gets depressed and retreats into his room, doesn't enroll in the school, doesn't really talk to any of his friends or family anymore. Then he's introduced to Baymax earlier in the film, but he's kind of reintroduced to him at this point. And Baymax, realizing that he's depressed and being a nurse bot, basically, is trying to help him out with that. And trying to get him out of his funk. So they end up following one of his robots, which is just taking off, which it shouldn't be. Hero thinks it's defective. Baymax thinks it's trying to go somewhere, so they decide to follow it. And that's where they meet the Kabuki Man. So then Hero has to call in help from his friends, which actually Baymax calls them in, and then Hero decides that the only way to help him would be to give everybody upgrades, which is where all their superhero costumes come from. There is a Stan Lee appearance in this, even though it's animated. Stan Lee appears in a photo in one of the people's houses. There's a little bit more to that later on, but I'm not going to spoil it. So yeah, then they get their upgrades. And then they kind of go after the Kabuki Man, which at this point they find out who he is, and like I said, I kind of called the twist that it wasn't going to be the person you thought it was. I knew it was going to be one of two people at this point, and I was right. It was one of them. I'm not going to say which one. Kind of leave you guessing there. Then you find out his reasons for why he's the Kabuki Man. And then the reason he became the Kabuki Man, which I don't want to spoil in case you haven't seen it, it's kind of obvious the reason he's angry at the people he's angry at, and he's being the Kabuki Man, can be resolved. They just didn't realize it could be resolved. And, of course, I was right. There is a resolution that comes to it. One thing I did like at the ending, though, is he still goes to jail. You know, normally it's like, oh, I was doing this for a reason, and now that that reason isn't a reason anymore, I'm still a good guy at heart, and it kind of gets let go in a lot of these movies. In this one, nope, you still go to jail, despite, you know, whatever, because you still broke the law. So, good on you. And then that's pretty much the end of the movie. Like I kind of told you, they win. Obviously, it's a superhero movie. The superhero always wins. They capture the bad guy. He goes to jail. All the issues are resolved. Then you get to meet one of the characters. If you stay till after the credits, you get to see one of the characters' fathers, who turns out is maybe also a superhero. It doesn't really go into too much detail about it, but apparently he's been a superhero for a while, and you know, they're like, there's a lot we need to talk about, and that was a nice little thing at the end. Yeah, so that's pretty much Big Hero 6 in a nutshell. I also did want to mention, I wrote it down in my notes here, but I didn't really put it in a specific place. They live in the town of San Francisco, which is like a San Francisco/Tokyo blend. So obviously this is a fictional world, I guess, but it has themes from America and Japanese. So San Francisco and Tokyo, like it has a shot of what would be the Golden Gate Bridge, but it has like that traditional, what the hell are they called? The Japanese archways. If you watch the Wolverine, it's the archway that's still standing at, not Hiroshima, Nagasaki, I think was the other one. Is that right? I don't know. But yeah, the one archway that's standing in the background that allows Wolverine to realize where he's at in relation to what an event that happened. Basically, the Golden Gate Bridge's towers are those archways. So it's kind of a cool blend. Other than that, not really much else to say about it. As far as a star rating on this one, it was an enjoyable film. I'll give it that. Not really a whole lot of downfall to it other than the predictability, but like I said, it's a kids movie. Despite being a superhero movie, it is targeted towards children. So they're going to follow certain stereotypes and tropes and be predictable to someone who watches as many films as I watch. So as far as a star rating, I'm going to give this one, I'm going to give it a 4. I was going to say a 3.5, but for what it is, it's a 4. Definitely a decent film. Check it out if you like superhero films, if you like animated films, if you like anything, and you're probably getting a look at what the next film that I'm going to be reviewing is from my other show notes here. But yeah, so I'm going to give it a 4. So anyway, going to try and keep this short in case the battery dies, so we're going to do this quick wrap-up. So that's it for this episode. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Movie Reviews.